Hi, and welcome to Marketing Optimization with Alex Designs. I'm your host, Alex Harris, and today we're chatting with Dan Kaplan. How you doing, Dan?
Hi. Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. Dan is the co-founder of PeriscopeUp.com, and we're talking all about creating great content that gets engagement and gets shared. To get started, I'd like to ask, Dan, what is your definition of optimization and why is it beneficial?
So at Periscope Up, we define optimization as getting a website to achieve the client's goals. So really there's two parts to that. The first part is getting a website high up in the search engine so that it gets more traffic or more relevant prospects to the site. But there's a big important second part of that, which is getting those visitors, those prospects, to take your desired action, to click, call, or buy. So optimizing for people is just as important, if not more important, than optimizing for search engines.
It's a really great perspective. And I love talking about this content because so many people just focus on getting listed in the search engine rankings, but it doesn't really matter what content that they produce there. So tell us, as we get started, tell us a little bit about how you guys got started at Periscope Up.
Sure, thanks. So about 5 years ago, my business partner, Eric Kronthal, and I found ourselves in an opportunity where we could start a business. It's something I had wanted to do back since I started in internet development in 1995. Kind of dates me. I hand-coded my first website on Netscape. But something I always wanted to do. And when we were looking at business opportunities, I have a deep background in web development, built and promoted over 100 websites. And Eric was one of the early guys at advertising.com. And when we were looking around at business models, we decided that optimization was a good place for us to be in because it brought together all of our talents. But more importantly, we felt that search marketing was the best most effective kind of marketing, internet marketing out there. Because with search marketing, you're already trying to promote yourself to people who have already expressed an interest in your products or services. So you're farther along in that buy process. People, when they sit down to Google, they're expressing an interest in your product or service, and they're a little bit closer to making that purchase decision. So it's a little bit easier to get them to convert.
Yeah, it does take that effort to really create the good content to actually push them over and actually get them to convert. Let's just go ahead and just jump right into some examples, and you can walk us through some of that great content that you're creating.
Okay, so if you, clients often ask us for help in creating engaging content. Well, what does that mean, engaging? They know that Google rewards engaging content, but how do you really define engaging? And because Google can only really look at electronic signals, we define engaging as content that elicits links, likes, and shares. These are the off-page signals that Google looks at in ranking a website. So any content that we can naturally create that's going to, on its own, increase these links, likes, and shares, that's, by our definition, engaging. So, the question is, how do you do that? Well, first step is to research, obviously, what content people are interested in. What do they want to know? When you sit down to Google, you're doing a search for information or you're looking for a product, and essentially you're trying to solve a problem. You're trying to improve your life. So inherently, this experience that people have with a search engine, it's all about them, right? Or as I like to say, it's all about me. So we try to encourage our clients to start by researching researching topics that people want to know about, and then developing that content that's going to help people improve their lives, so that it's going to therefore be linked, liked, and shared. And I can give a good example of that of the one way to create content that's not engaging versus content that is engaging with two websites. One is cuisinesolutions.com, beautiful website, great product. They make sous vide, which is high-end gourmet foods that are vacuum sealed in packages and mailed to you, and then all you have to do is boil it. It's delicious stuff. I've tried it. Great product, great website. And I'm going to compare that to another website called paperchef.com. And they're in the similar space. They make paper for cooking with baking and cooking fish and chicken. And I would like to take a quick look at their two approaches to content and show how we believe one of them is engaging or more engaging than the other. So if you were to take a look at cuisinesolutions.com, the first thing you'd see is that the content really is all about them. It's all about the product. Their website says perfect right out of the bag every time. It starts with our world-class chefs. So they're promoting their chefs as the main selling point for the food. Great branding strategy. I'm not in any way knocking their branding strategy. It's a beautiful site, and I'm sure from a branding perspective, it is very, very effective. But it's all about them. If you look even at their navigation is set up as our products, our chefs, our industries. It's all about them. Look, the content is very well written. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's not going to elicit those links, likes, and shares as much as this other site. So now let's take a look at paperchef.com. And immediately from the navigation, you'll see that it's more user-centric. It's more about me. They have recipes as one of their navigation items. They have articles and they have videos. And all three of these navigation areas bring you to content that is helpful to me as a chef. It's going to improve my life. The recipes show me how to use their product, but in a way that I'm using their product to make my life better, to make me a better cook, have better parties, etc. And this kind of content, these recipes, these how-to articles, these videos that show you how to cook, how to be a better cook. This is the kind of stuff that gets posted on Twitter. It gets shared on Pinterest. It gets posted to Facebook. It gets the links, likes, and shares. Bloggers might link to it. And this is because it's inherently, we believe, more about me, about the users, and it's content that's going to help me improve my life. It's utilitarian. This is the kind of stuff that we believe is engaging.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The two layouts are, obviously they're definitely competing in their content. And if you're not watching this on video, you'll see that the cuisine type of page, it has a big banner at the top, and then it kind of goes into headlines and different content blocks. Compared to the Paper Chef, it's more open. It's definitely more visual appealing, and it's not focused on the chefs. It's focused on the food.
One of the things that we do is we'll try to find, we think about topics, not necessarily mediums. So if we write a blog post that gets 50, 100 shares, a lot of inbound links to it, we realize that we've struck a nerve, and we found a topic that is of interest to the audience. And then what we'll do is we'll take that topic and repurpose it into other medium. We will take that blog post and maybe make that into an infographic, or take that blog post and make it into a slide share or a Prezi, and be able to say the same thing in a different medium. Not everybody learns in the same way. Some people are readers, some people are oral, some people are visual. So when you find something that is popular, that's already getting a lot of links, likes, and shares, repurpose that in another format, and that also opens you up to a lot of other distribution channels. If you now have a Prezi version or a video version of a blog post, that opens you up to YouTube and to some of the other video sharing sites, and you can also engage visual learners on social media. And if I can, I'll give you a tip, something that we use as a shortcut to this. One of the things that sometimes what we'll do is, rather than reinvent the wheel, we'll go out and find a blog post in our industry that's really popular, and it's got already a lot of links, likes, and shares to it. We didn't write it; somebody else out there did. And what we'll do is we'll repurpose that, maybe take a blog post and make that into an infographic or video, and put that up on our client's website, give the original author full credit, not trying to steal or plagiarize anything, and then reach out to the original author and say, hey, we liked your blog post so much, we made a visual of it. And then, well, this is the kicker, please consider sharing that with your audience. And that gets, the original author is going to love to have that opportunity to share with their audience, some fans' work, if it's done right and respectfully and properly, and they get full credit for it. So we're not thinking about links for links' sake. We're thinking about getting that content disseminated out to where a business's prospects are spending time online, and use that content to draw people back in.
Yeah, that's definitely a great tip for sure. Now, I like to, provide, to my audience some value of how they can get the best ROI from the content that they create. Now, you talked about links, likes, and shares. What other type of goals do you really focus on when creating this type of content? Are there specific KPIs that you measure?
Sure. Yeah, but before I answer that question, let me say it's really tough to measure the dollar value or dollar generated from any single piece of content. It's just really not possible, as far as we know, to do that. But we're big fans of Google Analytics. We're Google Analytics certified. So to us, the only KPI that really matters is conversions or goals as defined by our clients. So we're going to first and foremost make sure that goals and to the extent possible, goal funnels are set up properly in Google Analytics, so we're properly tracking conversions. And then what we can do is, when we look at organic traffic in Google, we can use the filter to filter out brand searches. So we are taking out people who already know what the company's name is, and we're really just looking at organic traffic that came in from keywords that are not that the brand name. So that gives us a sense of the traffic that's being attracted to our site from our content. And then what we'll do is filtering just that organic non-branded content, we're going to look at the conversions. We're going to look at which blogs led to a not just higher engagement or more time on site, but really at the end of the day, people who came into the site from a certain piece of content, did they actually end up converting? Did they click call or download? So the other thing that we do to measure the value of this content is in Google Analytics under conversions, we look at assisted conversions. We look at also at the attribution, the model comparison tool, because what that tells us is all the different touch points that each of the channels had in bringing a conversion to us. So maybe the first time the user came to the site was through organic, second time was through paid, third time they knew what the URL was, so they typed it in directly, and that lets us apply a certain value to each of these channels towards the conversion. We don't like giving 100% credit to the last touch, because somebody may have came in through social media and then they searched on us, and search is getting all the credit for the conversion.
Now, I know in Google Analytics, so much has changed just really in the last year. Are you guys doing the social goals too? I know you can now create these goals individually for social specific. Have you guys experimented with that?
Yeah, absolutely, in a big way, because not just for the conversion standpoint, but we know that Google, at least, is giving more lift to social signals. That's why I say links, likes, and shares, right? The likes and shares part of it. In particular, Google Plus is very important. So everything that we put out on our blog or client's blog or Twitter, we also replicate that on Google Plus, because we love to see those plus ones. But with the looking at the social channels in Google Analytics, that helps us sort of judge not just how the conversions, but also, like, are we getting those kinds of signals that we know Google likes?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to do in there now. I mean, I've been using Google Analytics since the very beginning, and I went in there the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, there's another tool I have to learn. It's just changing really so much. So I like to give.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you something that we like to use? Although it's a little bit less effective now that they're sort of hiding the keyword data. But you make a custom report. This is great for organic. Make a custom report that shows you the keyword that somebody came in on against the landing page that they landed on against the bounce rate. So you get all three of those statistics when you're looking at them together. What does that tell you? Okay, that tells you, for your organic traffic, which keywords people are coming into which page and what's the bounce rate on that page. And if the bounce rate's high for that keyword landing page combination, you know you got something wrong. You're missing something. So that's a good page to optimize for. Maybe it's optimized for the wrong term.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually one of my main things that I go into for new clients. I go and I figure out the top landing pages and I organize them by bounce rate. And, I know if they're driving a whole bunch of traffic to that site and 90% of the traffic is leaving, obviously that's one of the best places to start for sure.
Right. Another thing we love to do with Google Analytics to help us identify topics to write about is site search. If a user has, if your website has site search on, if your website has a search box, hook up site search in Google Analytics, start tracking what are people asking you they want to know about.
Yeah.
Great way to come up with topics. Give them what they want, right? Start with what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I like to give my audience definitely some practical advice that they can do on their own sites. What would be some of the top tips for them when thinking about creating their own content? What would you be telling your clients to do as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. It's something we talk about all the time. So, first of all, know your audience, know what they want. Do the research. Look at the groups. Look at the LinkedIn groups, the Quora questions. Look at the forums in your industry. What do people want to know? Okay, give them what they want, right? Because if they're searching on it, you might as well have them landing on your site. Next thing I'd say is think about the keyword. Identify the keyword before you begin writing. Give that keyword to your writer so that they can work it in naturally. Work it in once in the title, once in the description, once in the first paragraph. No more than that. Don't do keyword stuffing. Don't worry. Don't try to overdo it. But be aware of the right keyword to try to target. Right. Just as an aside, we look at three things when we look at keywords. We look at search volume, competition, and most importantly, relevancy. That keyword has to be the right keyword for the topic. If it's not the keyword that reflects the topic, change the topic or the keyword because they have to be perfectly aligned. What are people searching on to find this thing? That's what you want to work into your keywords. And then the next thing I'd say is make it about me. Make content that's going to help me make my life better. We have a client that does auto refinancing, so we're working out this whole library of content about everything you need to know about refinancing a car. Just give me those tools, those widgets, the posts, the videos that are going to help me make my life better, and use your product in a way that's going to make my life better. And those are probably the three things that I can think of that are going to help drive more organic traffic.
I love it. It's providing value, targeting the right keyword, and making sure that you're writing for the right audience. Those are definitely
right. But I will say there's one other thing, because your job's not done once the content's up there. You got to get it into the hands of of your prospects, the people that are going to consume it, wherever they're spending time online. Because these are the signals that Google looks at, but also you want to attract more people to your website, right? So what you should be doing in disseminating your content is, making a list of where people spend time online. Think about those forums, think about those blogs, think about social influencers, people on Twitter or who have 100,000 followers in your space, and think about how you can make them look good, right? Think about finding those influencers and then working on building a relationship that makes them look good by disseminating your content. Give them content that they may want, and you can see what people are sharing on a Twitter, somebody's Twitter account, on an influencer. If you can give them something that's going to make them look good and help their audience, and when you pitch it to them, say, I really think this will help your audience, right? It's not about me. In this case, it's about making them look good, and then and sometimes create custom content just for them. But get those influencers to share your stuff. You're taking advantage of an existing network, right? And you got to give to get too. There's always that part of it, right? I'll help you if you help me, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I love it. Let's close by telling people how they can find out more about you and periscopeup.com.
Sure. Great, thanks. So you can visit periscopeup.com. We've got a lot of great resources on our blog. We just put up earlier this week. In fact, we put up a blog post about local SEO and the process that we use. We're very open. We put our stuff out there. And if you go to periscopeup.com/ebook, you get a page about my book, my Amazon ebook. It's not a print book. It's an ebook. It's on Amazon. It's called How to Write Great Website Content, Get High in Search Engines, and Increase the Leads, Sales, or Donations of any website. And that's on periscopeup.com/ebook.
Perfect. Thank you, Dan.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you for watching the Marketing Optimization Podcast with Alex Designs. Please remember to subscribe to all of the videos in my YouTube channel. Thank you.